It's happened again. Once again, a controversy has come up in the OSC, and no one has taken a nuanced stance. Although, now I'm realizing the hypocrisy in saying that is that some people have taken nuanced stances, so it wasn't a nuanced stance of me to say that no one has. Anyway, in case you're unaware, a bit of a controversial figure named MilesDoodlesArt has returned, and people have had thoughts. People I know, people I respect, people I, dare I say, admire, have had thoughts. TL Gent has welcomed Miles back with open arms. Lean Beans has, not. Cloudymations made this statement. Think of that as you will. Brown Scarf made a slightly different statement. A statement seemingly in defense of Miles. And, of course, Lean Beans made his own statement. I do admit I'm not an expert on this particular topic. I was focused more on Grainy, Sacri, and Booknote in my tenure. And when this particular one was going down, I was more focused on Hypercrystal because he was larger, he was the guy, right? It was Hypercrystal. However, I have a particular take that not many people seem to share, and this could be a controversial take, and I'm willing to accept that. But before that, I'd like to go over probably the most nuanced take, or the one that I agree with the most, from Giant Snowball, which I was not expecting to agree with Giant Snowball. But Giant Snowball says, "Hello. This is the most important part. Ends it with do not harass anyone." That's the only reason that I actually even included this one. Well, that's not true. It's the only reason I read the entire thing out. Do not harass anyone. Anyway, now I'll go over my take. I'm quite centrist on this. MilesDoodlesArt made a big mistake. Several big mistakes. However, MilesDoodlesArt has apologized, and whether or not that apology is sincere, we should accept. Well, we don't need to accept it. We should accept that an apology was made, right? I'm personally on the side of not harassing people and not being dicks intentionally, even if people are terrible, because, frankly, one of my greatest mistakes in my life was being a dick because I thought someone else was a terrible person. When it was revealed that that person wasn't, I felt like a jerk. And while that is different, it's different with Miles because I feel like it's pretty conclusive. Miles is a kind of not the most morally sound individual. I also do think that we should just say bye-bye and move on. If I can find the clip, Jax Films puts it good in one of his songs.
Now, nobody's as bad as their worst mistake. Nobody's as good as the claims they make. Nobody's got a heart that you can't break. But when you double down, you're bound to come off rude, and that's hard to undo. So say you're sorry and the world will move on.
In this situation, Miles is the one being spoken to. Well, okay. Nobody's as bad as their worst mistake. I agree. Nobody's as good as the claims they make. I agree. Nobody's got a heart that you can't break. I agree. But when you double down, you're bound to come off rude. That's what Miles did. That's hard to undo. So just say you're sorry, that's what Miles did, and the world will move on. That's what we need to do. We, as the outside world, from Miles' perspective, need to move on. Because what's done is done. And there's no going back on it. And we can be mad, and we can scream, and we can rage, and we can harass. We can do that all we want. But it doesn't change anything. Right? And then we will be seen, from an outsider perspective, as the dicks. If we become known as the community that harasses you, even if it isn't a true claim, even if it's not at all a true claim, if we become known as the community that harasses people and chases them off the internet and attacks them for a slight faux pas, which, you know how the internet is, people are gonna exaggerate it. If that's what we become known for, that's not good for any of us. So, my advice to everyone talking about this is stop. And my advice to Miles is go away. We don't want you here.